looking at, I read this blog called School of Rock. You may have heard of it. In fact, you may want to start referencing that in some of your own blogs. But Freddy Galvis, I heard some things that Brandon Hyde said about him last night. I know he's on a one-year contract. But based on that, I'm kind of wondering, could this thing stretch to 2022?
I think so. You know, every time they sign a guy, a veteran player, one-year deal, minor league deal, your first thought is July trade chip. And that applies to Galvis. That applies to Michael Franco, Matt Harvey. It was supposed to apply to Felix Hernandez. It worked with Tommy Malone last year. It worked with Wade LeBlanc. Galvis is a trade chip, but Brandon Hyde really does love him. He loves the leadership. He's a lot of it's behind the scenes. Loves what he's bringing at the plate, in the field. He is a trade chip, depending what you could get for him, and there will be some offers, teams that need a shortstop. Maybe you go ahead and you make that deal, but he could go back on the market, and it's a pretty crowded shortstop market. He's going to have to settle probably for another one-year deal. I could see the Orioles trying to bring him back. There's nobody right now beating down that door to play shortstop on opening day in 2022. Among their big prospects. They're littered through the minors, but it's mostly the lower levels, the Gunnar Hendersons, Jordan Westbergs, Anthony Servideo, guys like that. Caden Grenier fell out of the top 30 prospects in the organization. He's playing very well at AA Bowie, but otherwise, you know, Richie Martin, he's broke both wrists and a hamate bone since 2020. He's on the 60-day IL right now. I don't think you can automatically pencil him in. They're still developing him. So it would make sense on a lot of levels to go ahead and bring back Galvis, even if you do trade him at the deadline. It could be like our friend Mike Bordick, remember in 2000, was traded in July to the Mets, came back in the offseason, signed a 2-year deal around $9.5 million. Galvis will not cost nearly that much. So I could see them doing that again, another like half a year to a year placeholder till one of these top prospects is ready. And, hey, maybe you could flip them again at the next deadline.
Maybe there's no one knocking on the door to play shortstop, but there is at the pitcher and catcher prospect. The Orioles have the top catching prospect right now in all of minor league baseball per Baseball America. What's going on with Adley Rutschman? All the talk is about him.
Yes, it's a fun time at Bowie right now. I can see why fans would want to go to those games. You know, the Adley watch continues, definitely by 2022, maybe an outside chance late in 2021, but there are so many factors. He has to play AAA. Hasn't done that yet. Eventually he's going to get there this summer. When do you want to start the clock? There could be a work stoppage next spring, of course. So there are a lot of factors, but 2022, we're definitely going to see him. Question is, who backs him up? And, you know, Pedro Severino is arbitration eligible again. He's already making $1.8 million. That screams non-tender to me. Chance Sisco's getting yet another reset at AAA, has not become the player they thought he was going to be. We don't know whether he's run out of chances. I would think we'll see him again later this summer. But at what point do you move on there if you don't think he's going to be good enough defensively and he's not giving you much at the plate to keep him for another year? They're going to keep trying right now. Austin Wynn's all of a sudden right back in the catching pitcher, which is interesting because we didn't see him at all in 2020. He was on the taxi squad. He saw major league games. He just couldn't get into major league games. Oh, he has the grand slam yesterday. You heard Hyde talk him up, loves him behind the plate, what he brings defensively, how he works with a pitching staff, the energy he brings. All of a sudden, he is a strong consideration to be that backup. I'm sure he'd be thrilled just to be in the majors if he's starting 40 games. Otherwise, you know, Brett Cumberland is one of their catching prospects. He's in AAA right now, but he has a lot of work to do defensively. So you can't necessarily say he's going to be ready. I'm more interested in the fact this guy has been hit by pitches 13 times already this year, 7 straight games, 41 times in 2017. But I digress. I just find that fascinating. But I could also see them maybe going out, signing another veteran. They do that every offseason, whether it's a Caleb Joseph type, and yes, Caleb would love to come back, or Brian Holiday, somebody like that. But in the meantime, Austin Wynn's really has thrust himself right back into this catching pitcher here. But yes, the Adley watch, finally by 2022 for sure, we will finally see him. He's playing very well.
Roch Kubatko, MASNsports.com.